Adam Wilcox in the black Ferrari, leading round 4 of the British GT Championship at Knockhill. And he's holding this battle up as Glengettie just gets into the back of Godfrey Jones in the Ascari in their battle for second. And that leaves Glengettie in trouble off the corner because he's got 2 Ferraris behind him. No, he hasn't. He's got one coming around the outside. Matt Griffin in car number 2. Oh, he's going to need a lot of traction on the exit to get the better of the Porsche in this slow hairpin exit to the long run over the hill. And true to form, the Porsche gets good drive. But despite being on the gravel, Matt Griffin moves up to 3rd place. Good effort by the man who was in the winning car both times out in Oulton Park, the season opener. Well, now then, Adam Wilcox finally starting to open a tiny bit of a gap over 2nd placed Godfrey Jones, but right in front of him now is one of the battles further down the field in the G4 category as they go through Clark. That is Christian Dick in the Silver Ginetta and Rory Butcher behind him in the KTM Crossbow. That's the battle for 3rd in G4. Wilcox gets through without too much delay, and that might be really important. No, Godfrey Jones goes with him as well, but the Ferraris and the Porsche behind as Glengettie in 7 just holds off Tom Ferrier. They don't get by. Now then, Rory Butcher checking the mirrors to see where the fast traffic is coming from. Of course, he still wants to attack the Ginetta. 1 on the left, 2 down the right. Oh, that's going to be close. Christian Dick doesn't want to let off either. He's going to lose ground. Rory Butcher saw the opportunity coming, placed himself well to take advantage, and Christian Dick, who didn't dare slow down on the straight, ended up finding himself on the wrong foot coming out of Duffer's Dip. So lead quintet get through safely, and still it looks as though Adam Wilcox not able to pull away from these guys. Wilcox set a new lap record taking pole position, and that was over a second inside last year's qualifying mark, but the top 7 cars on the grid all beat last year's qualifying lap record as well, so everybody is going quicker. The new Ferrari 430 GT3 is an even bigger step forward than perhaps some of them had imagined. Meanwhile, here comes the battle for second. Down the inside, Matt Griffin, championship leader versus reigning champion cars 1 and 2. Godfrey Jones on the outside, holds on, and there's contact again. Griffin will go off there. Any little bump there is enough to just put you offline and straight off, but he manages to drive his way back out to the gravel. There's the G4 battle in front of him. Now then, Godfrey Jones under all sorts of pressure. Here comes Glengettie. He goes through into 2nd place. Tom Ferrier in Ferrari number 10 right behind. And he'll really want to take advantage here as well. If he can get on the inside and get Godfrey Jones boxed out on the outside, then he'll slip through. But when he does, Godfrey trying hard to attack to get that 2nd place back from Glengettie, who's on the outside line. Ferrier is on the inside as they go up the hill. I tell you what, that Ascari has got astonishing traction up behind the Lotus. That's 2nd in G4, Simon Mason. And while the Lotus may not have great top speed compared to the Porsche, between the corners and mid-corner, it is very quick as almost anything out there. So not an easy job to get by it, but Glengettie does a great job jumping the curbs through the chicane. 2nd, 3rd and 4th all together. Getty up to 2nd in the Porsche. Adam Wilcox must use this battle, of course, to try and escape out front. Meanwhile, the M-Tech Ferrari is in the pits. Now, is that a right front puncture, I wonder? Often happens when you get wheel-to-wheel contact, even a light one as we've just seen. Tom Ferrier charging up the hill once more in 4th place, and you can just see Wilcox in front. And he's coming up to lap the G4 leader. Looks like Matt Griffin not happy with that.
Had me off proper, my foot. He touched a little more of my back out of it, and he went wide at the 2nd corner, so I was on the outside of the 3rd corner.
Well, let's have a look then. Matt Griffin gets alongside. Godfrey, well, he sits in the middle of the road. The inevitable contact there. But every picture tells a story. Glengettie's on board. See, the Ferrari gets out of shape, hits the Ascari that tries to get things straightened up. Ferrari attacks again. Well, that's pretty much a racing incident, I think. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Meanwhile, Adam Wilcox leads in the black Ferrari, but Glengettie, the man on the mission, fast and clean. And Getty is now right with the leader. No question at all. This Porsche is the car to have around here, at least fast in the early stages of the race. Maybe the Ferraris will be a little better on lighter fuel loads, but at the moment, Geddy has got speed and grip to show to anyone. He's all over the leader, and surely Adam Wilcox's time in the lead is about to come to an end. They rush down through his lots up to the hairpin. Defensive on the inside, aggressive on the outside. Geddy takes the perfect line. He'll drive off the corner right behind the race leader. Well, Adam Wilcox gets a great launch up the hill. Glyn Geddy's going to have to work very hard indeed for this. Is he going to make a move into Duffer's Dip? He is not, but he is pressing all the way, and he needs to, because closing in behind is the Silver Ascari. Godfrey Jones is not a man to be trifled with when he's on a mission. Tom Ferrier in fourth, but look, two cars joined together, it seems, in the lead. Very different style of car, very different positives and negatives, but almost inseparable on a 1.3-mile lap here at Knock Hill. Seems that the real problem for Glyn Geddy is getting traction off the chicane. That's where the Ferrari pulls away. Everywhere else, he's got everything that Adam Wilcox can show him completely covered. Well, third and fourth place, Ascari and Ferrari still closing in behind the Porsche. Wilcox is not going to be able to hand over much of a lead, if anything, when the driver pit windows open. And if anywhere should suit the little Lotus, it should be Knock Hill, with so many corners to deal with. That's really its forte. So Adam Wilcox, pressure all the way. He's barely had a lap where he could relax or think at all about anything. And I wonder what this is going to do to tyre wear later on in the race. All these top four cars particularly really battling hard. And the harder you work the tyres, the quicker they give up the grip. Well, behind the orange G4 leading Ginetta of Nathan Freak is Aaron Scott in the Viper, having a bit of a lonely race on his own. Meanwhile, leaders again across the line. This is fantastic stuff. Very nervous times, I'm sure, for their co-drivers, and especially for the teams who are going to have to do the pit stop. Because if you gain or lose a second in this battle during the pits, that could be absolutely critical. Still Glyn Geddy in the Porsche, really pressing Adam Wilcox through the chicane. This time he's very close indeed. Here we go, he's got a chance, surely up to Clark. No, big slide there. Oh, and he's still chasing, didn't lose an inch. I am surprised. That looked like a big moment of opposite lock. Well, that shows how hard he is trying. Godfrey Jones thinks about coming around the outside. Glyn Geddy says, all right, off you go then. I've got the line. He is 110% focused on trying to get by Adam Wilcox. He's been all over the back of the black Ferrari for lap after lap, still can't find a way back. Meanwhile, Godfrey Jones defensive on the inside against another red Ferrari. This time it's the number 10 car of Tom Ferrier, and Jones very much slower through Duffer's Dip and Leslie's. And suddenly we've got a two-car battle for the lead and a two-car battle for third. And again, Glyn Geddy's Porsche is all over the back of Adam Wilcox in the Ferrari as Jones starts to defend rather than attack. Now, that takes the pressure off the Porsche driver and piles even more on Adam Wilcox. Look at his eyes in the mirror. What is he watching? Just the road ahead. He knows if he sits in the middle of the track, Glyn Geddy has a lot more mileage to do around the outside. Same behind them for Godfrey Jones, but great exit there from Tom Ferrier. He's got the inside line. Godfrey is going to have to be hyper brave on the outside as the road dives away to the right into Duffer's Dip. He will be back in fourth. Tom Ferrier up to third. Great opportunity, well taken there for Ferrier. Put on the pressure into the hairpin. Jones just a fraction too late in, couldn't get the power on when he wanted. Ferrari up to third, but again the Porsche's very close indeed into Clark. Now the mid-corner speed of the Porsche is better than the Ferrari, but the Ferrari's exit speed is better. Adam Wilcox just pulls away a fraction because Glyn Geddy can't get on the power when he and his car want to, because there's a Ferrari in the way. So, different cars produce better results in different parts of the corner. Glyn Geddy closes going in and then loses more ground going back out. And here comes Tom Ferrier in the red Ferrari in third